We are inspired by the well-established larger compounders on the Stockholm Stock Exchange, such as Indutrade and Adtech, Lagercrantz and Lifco, for example. We are growing preferably by buying well-run companies, and we implement them into our company group. We focus on companies that have a stable history of low-risk businesses, and of course we love positive cash flows. We are a happy team of managers that have been doing this for a very long time. We love our jobs and we love to build something, and the feeling is that we are in the beginning of something that will hopefully be very big in the future. Please give us the next slide. Thank you. Short history about Teqnion. It was founded by myself and a friend in 2006. And as I mentioned, it's with a lot of inspiration from the bigger compounders. And we've been following some examples that several of us have, which is that we are running our subsidiaries as decentralized units with where you focus, you keep your own brand, and we don't promote Teqnion as something that our customers see. Every subsidiary have their own entity and they should be autonomous in what they do. All their functions are within the subsidiary. We are growing constantly, both organically. We try to not only maintain our subsidiaries, we also drive them towards growth. But the big growth of the group is coming from acquisitions, and we are constantly on the search and scouting for good businesses to acquire. We value relations very much, both of course with our most important asset, which is our co-workers and employees, but also with our suppliers and with our customers. We love long relations, and we love the mutual benefit of an ongoing business deal. We like the win-win-win situation in everything we do. We listed our company in April of 2019 on Nasdaq First North. We are today approximately 230 co-workers in the group, and we have 15 companies, and they are organized in 3 different business areas. Up until now, we're focusing on Sweden. All our subsidiaries are here, except for a few. We have representation in China, but that's still very small. We're hoping in the future to expand geographically, hopefully, or most likely in the near geographical region, such as the Nordic countries, to start with. Yeah, please give us the next slide. Why you should invest in Teqnion? Yeah, that's a question that we have several answers to. Maybe the most fun is that we are constantly growing, and that we are growing with good margins, keeping our margins high. We love to earn money, and normally we earn money before we invest anything else, and we try to invest wise and for the long term. And we have, as I mentioned before, we believe that we are in the beginning of something, even though that we've been doing this for 15 years. We are constantly searching for good companies to acquire, and we are looking for niche companies, some companies that might seem very unsexy when you look at them, but companies that fulfill their customers' needs, and often in a way that in a niche where there's a lot of regulation or a lot of difficult standards to follow, where it's hard. There's a big threshold for a competitor to get in. Those places we love, and we are focusing on always making decisions that in the long run will be profitable and sustainable. We are telling each other that we will be here for at least 100 years, and if you think like that, you have to really be careful on how to which type of decisions you make all the time. Please give us the next slide. A little bit about the operations last year, from January to December 2020. We increased our sales with 14%. Most of that came from acquisitions. We had a small organic growth, as you see. We were affected by that. We are a very small mother company, I should say. We are today 6 people employed. We were a little bit down in force during 2020 for different reasons, which meant that we couldn't acquire so many companies maybe as we could have done if we had been a few more people here. We acquired two really nice companies, Inga Propulsion, which are focusing on maintenance of gas turbines, and Inga Teknik, which is supplying measuring transformers to the with the power supply industry. We were also a little slow on the acquisitions due to the fact that we had the pandemic going on, so it was hard to meet with new prospects. We increased our results quite a bit, and we are getting up to those EBITDA margins where we would like to be. We are not happy with 2019. But we are very happy with everything we've been doing during last year, and of course continue doing. We love our margins and we love to earn money. Please give us the next slide. How we run our operations. We love the strength and the robustness of working in a company group. Since we are looking at smaller niche companies that are supplying some sort of industrial products, we constantly seek the uniqueness, and we educate ourselves that always be in these niche areas. We are trying to stay away from the commodity things, and we don't like to sell things based on price. We love to sell things based on knowledge and expertise. As I mentioned before, we really value our long-term customer and supplier relations. We have companies that were founded in the 1950s, and our oldest companies are from the 1950s and 1960s, and we have actually few suppliers from that time still in our portfolio, and also some customers, which is something that we really appreciate. Important for us is also that we are organized in a way where all subsidiaries are run by people that see their company as their own. It's entrepreneurial driven, and we make sure that the decisions are made out close to the customers all the time, which makes us more competitive, and of course hopefully gives our customers the best service that they can get. We like the simpleness of a business where all parties can see that they gain from it. We don't like to be complicated. We like to be straightforward. We like to be sustainable because we would like to be here for 100 years or more, and we like to earn money. Please give us the next slide. Here to the right you see some of the logos from the subsidiaries, and they work under their own brand name towards their market. We from the Teqnion and from the mother company try to help these companies and support them. We don't try to run them or control them. We are very certain that the knowledge and know-how is located within these subsidiaries, and we just from the mother company try to support them the best we can. We do that by applying an active board of directors for each subsidiary, where we help the subsidiary CEO with a straight strategic long-term goal for the company, and then we also can be a resource when it comes to things that are out of the normal everyday operations. We are always involved in the recruitment of key roles, for especially when it comes to applying the CEO of a subsidiary. This is something that is key for doing a successful business group like this. You have to be really good at recruiting good people, because it's good people that do this possible. We also help training them, and we also help them inspire each other. We have meetings where all these great people can come together and talk to each other, getting to know each other, and also be inspired by each other. It's a very dynamic and fun workplace. I think we can go to the next slide, please. We are divided into 3 different business areas, as you can see on this picture. We call them industry, growth, and niche. We are constantly overlooking this and looking for the future on how to be organized. This is something that we did for the IPO project in 2019. I think when we are growing with a few more acquisitions, maybe we will look over this, and maybe we come to a conclusion that we need perhaps a 4th leg, or divide these 3 legs into something new. But for the moment, we have the industry leg, where we have some metal working companies, also a couple of home wood producing companies. Then we have the growth area, where we have a few companies that we believe can over time become much bigger than what they are today. And then we have the niche companies, where we see the biggest amount of companies, and they are also as they are named, they are very niche within themselves. It's a very broad spectrum of different market niches within that group. We love that, and it's the niches that make the uniqueness and make us it's possible for us to keep up high margins when we are in very niche different business areas. Thank you. Next slide, please. When it comes to acquisitions, which is a very important part of what we do, we love the low risk strategy, meaning that if we find a company that has been well established and earning money for many years, when we find it, we also believe that it will be profitable in the future. And so we're looking for companies that have a very they have their niche, and they have the ability to have a good cash flow, and they have the knowledge within their staff on how to remain in their competitiveness in their specific industrial niche. We are also looking for companies that are in a different in a specific size. As you see in this table, we're looking for companies from approximately 20 million in turnover or sales up to maybe 100 or a little bit more. And it depends on what they do. If they're very niche and they have their own brand name and their own products, maybe we can go down a little bit as to 20 million in turnover. And if they're a little more like they have some more type of not so niche, or how to describe it. We can look at a little bit bigger companies. We try to get back the price. We say we need to get our money back in approximately 5 years. Of course, that will also differ a little bit between if they own their own products, or if they are producing for someone else, or if they are an agent for another company. But approximately 5 years payback time. Normally we pay from our own cash, and we borrow half of it from the bank, and that's how we've been growing since the beginning in 2006. We never put any money into this company up until 2018, where we did a pre-IPO, and then we did the IPO in 2019. We buy companies both for expansion, meaning that we're not looking for something that we already have or that we are familiar with. We're looking for companies that have that we can judge have a low risk and a good history with good cash flow, that looks that it will be sustainable for the future as well, and of course that they are run by good people that would love to drive the company forward together with us. Good people is key. And what type of companies we're looking for? Yeah, we're almost exclusively doing business-to-business companies, which all of them should have something that is unique or something that stands out from the rest of the competitors. It should be sustainable. It should definitely be understandable. We don't want to go into something where we don't see how we earn money. And as up until now, we are looking at companies that sell products, but we are also have some parts of our companies also sell some sort of service, but they are linked to products in that case. Please take the next slide. This thing with buying good companies is something that is the fundamental of Teqnion. This is something that we will continue doing, and we like the proven concepts that I've been talking about, and here are written down sound people, and that's so important for us. When we meet a new company and talk to the management, we judge if they judge us, of course, as takers, but we judge them as future co-workers and people that can help us to build this company strong and better over time. We have today a very good pipeline of prospects, and what we love to do is scout by ourselves, cold call companies that might not be for sale right now, but as we getting to know the owners, finally we can turn them into sellers, and hopefully in the future also, if we buy their company, co-workers. We also get, of course, prospect from company brokers, and since we've been around for 15 years now, we also starting to get different kind of acquisition prospects from the reputation of Teqnion being a good taker of industrial companies, which we of course are very happy for. We constantly have an ongoing talk with a handful of prospects. It's increasing a little bit now because our management group has grown a little bit. So before it was mainly me doing this type of tasks, but now we are 3 heads that do this, so we can do so much more right now. It feels great. We're aiming to do approximately a handful of acquisitions per year for the coming years before we hopefully can increase that and accelerate a bit when it comes to acquisitions. Please give us the next slide. A little bit about the shareholders. Here you see the 10 largest shareholders. This is from the last of December, so it's not really up to date, but we haven't seen so much change in this. Vixar, as is just the top there, they have been with us since 2008. They came in during the financial crisis and helped us to downsize because we had a really thin. we had a really thin balance sheet and we needed help to downsize. And they came in and said that they were long term. Perhaps we didn't believe them back then, but now we all have to believe them. Then in 2018, Spiltan came in, and they are today the second biggest owner. Yes. Then you see some of the. I'm there in the middle, and Erik Syrén also is one of the founders and still a big owner and work operationally in the company. Yes, please give us the next slide. Here you see the Teqnion management team, and when it comes to acquisition, it's myself and Daniel and Susanna that work with that. And when it comes to manning all the board of directors as chairman of the boards, it's Anna-Karin, myself, and Mona. And taking care of all of us, and especially the bookkeeping, is Maria. She's been with me since 2008, and she knows Teqnion as well as anyone. From yesterday, we are actually one more member of this team. It's Jenny, and she will be working with Maria with the accounting. We have very fun at work, and we love to challenge each other to be our best. We hate being bad, and we really enjoy doing this company built together. Please give us the next slide. Short summary, what we are. Teqnion is a constantly growing industrial group where we acquire niche companies, we develop them, and we focus on clear, understandable business models where it's easy to see how to earn money and how our suppliers benefits from it and how our customers will benefit from it and continue to be competitive. We do sustainable businesses, which means that we have an equality between supplier and customer. We grow with profitable margins and with good cash flow, so we can buy new companies constantly. We run our companies or our operations decentralized and entrepreneurial. Every CEO of a subsidiary should have the feeling that it's their own company and they should drive it towards the future as that. We are a compounding machine, and we are only in the beginning of this build. Thank you. Next slide, which should be the questions and answers. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much, Johan. Very nice. And to start off the Q&A, I think perhaps run for be nice. You're not only known as the CEO of Teqnion, but also as an outstanding long-distance runner.
You're very stubborn, yes.
Yeah, you set, for example, a new world record at Backyard Ultra, where you ran for 455 kilometers non-stop, more or less. So how does the mentality necessary for such an achievement translate into the business world?
I think it can translate somehow, at least if you try to explain it. I don't know if you stretch it a little bit. I mean, it's the distance running is a very simple task. You put one foot in front of the other and you do it until you've finished. You need patience, because if you're gonna last for the long run, you have to do it in a pace that's sustainable, and that's the same with businesses. I think we've been doing Teqnion for 15 years, and we're only in the beginning. You need to be you need to take all the steps to get to where you want to go, and that's the same with the long distance running, I think. And then of course you need to be a little bit stupid and a little bit stubborn, and yeah, you need to be able to take some punishment, and I think that's also something that you need in the business world, at least to some extent. I think it's good to, if you take it more on a healthy perspective, I think it's just good also to be moving, use your body, not only your head. I think too many people today just sit around and use their bright minds. I think they should be so much brighter and healthier if they also use their body a little bit. But that's something we don't have to talk about today.
Yes, it sounds very good, Johan. Unfortunately, we are running out of time here. So I have to thank you very much for the presentation.
Absolutely.
And we will hopefully see you in the future sometime.
Looking forward to that. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye.